Alright, so this is the design for a passive solar heater. You've got a box. Mine's going to be cedar. It doesn't have to be. At the bottom it'll have PVC board. Also does not have to be. This is a baffle. This is a piece of aluminum here. And that's to curve the air, because you want that airflow in that direction, right? So by angling this on both sides, you can see here, if you compare, usually people will put their inlet and outlet here, which of course means most air is just going to flow right through there based on, the size of whatever the cross-sectional area of this is, and here it can basically all flow right through the middle, maybe a little bit of air over here, and this air really doesn't move at all. Here, if they put it here and go out here, it still is going to first just go here, and then as the pressure kind of stabilizes, it'll make its way out into these other ones, and that's all dead. It's not doing anything. So here, yeah, it's gonna go here, but the pressure, maybe this gap wouldn't be so big, but the pressures are going to be more stable here, and so as the pressure builds up here from this air, it basically just makes it all equal the whole way. And you just have to size these correctly, and maybe taper it or something, but that's the idea. So yeah, basically what you're gonna have is this board here. Most people use really thick plywood. I don't think that that's really necessary. So I'm just using this 1/4 inch board, a 1-inch polyiso foil backed. Doesn't really need the foil, it's not really a help, but polyiso insulation board. The reason for that is it has a 300 degree melting point versus like 200, and this thing could get pretty hot. We don't want it to get anywhere near that because we don't want it to melt. We don't want it to off gas poisonous gas. Here's the cedar boards. Tons of pure silicone, 100% silicone. That's important for thermal insulation. So you'll have board, galvanized steel, right? This has a higher thermal capacity to store thermal energy, but it's slower to release it, right? So this will kind of act as more of a thermal battery to some degree, right? So that, let's say a cloud passes over, this will be charging up, right on the back side. If you look here, you have the insulation board, the galvanized steel, a sheet of aluminum, and then aluminum channels on top where the air will, really the air can flow through all of it, but the point here is that the sun is going to hit the aluminum, which is going to have a solar specific coating on it, right? So a high absorption, low reflectivity black paint essentially, right? And so it's going to absorb into the aluminum very rapidly, and it'll then hit that big aluminum sheet, right? And that'll just absorb more. It will then more slowly transfer that to the galvanized steel, and then a little bit, obviously is going to go into the insulation and that wood as well eventually. But yeah, so let's say, aluminum cools really quickly. So you want to store some of your energy in this so that, let's say a cloud passes over, you've still got heat you can pull off of that. PVC board just for the bottom of the box, and that's just so, if you lay it on the ground and it's in contact with ground, it won't matter at all. Cedar's pretty good as well, but I don't know, I just use that, so maybe if we're lucky, maybe we'll smell a little cedar. Probably not, but it's just a good rot resistant wood. And when I compared the prices, it really wasn't that much more. You got a 4-inch inlet and a 6-inch outlet. That's for a reason. So just like in your car, your intake pipe, right, is small, you know, but people put on a bigger exhaust for more, because gas expands when it gets hot, air expands, right? And so you can lower the back pressure and help the convection that's going to be happening pull the air up and out, right? So just more naturally. Then you have this twin wall. So it's a 2-layer polycarbonate sheet. See if you can see that. So it's got these little channels. These will be sealed with silicone, so air cannot flow through. That'll increase the insulating value of these sheets. But they're twin wall. You can actually bend it. So we'll see. We might put a bend on this because they actually are going to diffuse light a bit. And what that means is it kind of scatters it, right? And as the sun moves across the sky, it goes up and down as well. It's not always going to be even. So, but perhaps I'll curve that board over the top of this a bit, so that as the sun passes, it may not always have a perfect angle, but it should help diffuse light a little bit more evenly over this. So what I'm also going to do is take that aluminum flashing, cut it into strips, and make triangular channels, right? Kind of like this, but a lot steeper. And because you want is the maximum amount of surface area for the air to come in contact with to transfer heat from the metal to the air, right? And so the aluminum does that faster than that. So we need as much aluminum as possible. So if you think about like a car radiator, can I show you one? I have one somewhere. Hold on. But anyway, you know what a car radiator looks like. Yeah. All right. So air is passing through this, right? Like from one side to the other. And look how many fins. And that's so it's super duper efficient, right? Obviously I can't make that, but I got this brake. It's a sheet metal brake from Harbor Freight, $70. It's a 30-inch, so I'll be making, I'll take aluminum flashing, cut it into strips, put it in the brake, and bend an angle, and then I can make it stand up a little taller. So I'll just have to worry about, if you picture, let's say the sun is shining at this angle, it still has a decent angle, or in the morning. It could be at this angle, it has a decent angle, and in the midday, it's right here, it's hitting everything. So by using a triangular shape like that, you get periods of, it's a little bit more balanced output. There's more overall surface area, but by making these taller, shadowing could happen. So I'll have to find the proper balance for that. And then I might even curve the whole thing. I don't know, but probably not. Because I don't want to, I think a flat one is going to be better just throughout the whole day. So, you've got east, southwest, basically, somewhere over there. The sun's tracking the whole way. Now right here is obviously not a great spot. I have a lot of trees. Trees are not good for solar, but it's not for me. So it changes angle quite a bit. And in the winter, the sun is just super low. I mean, it's not even winter, and it's fall, and the sun's right there. Where was it? It was like right there at the worst, or the best. So You gotta take all that stuff into account. Anyway.